back? They can't. They could not comprehend this because they were so tuned. They're so focused on making Umrah. Now you're telling us that we're not? We'd rather die. So the Prophet ﷺ went to his house or to his tent, and he was depressed. And he was complaining to one of his wives. Didn't you see what your people did? They're not obeying my orders. I'm telling them, get out of the ihram state and wear your normal clothes and let's head back to Medina. So she told him, this is very easy. You be the first to shave your hair and they will follow immediately. And this is what the Prophet did. He brought the barber and he started shaving his head, and when the minute the companions saw this, they realized that there's no going back. So they immediately went and shaved their heads and wore their normal clothes, though they did not want this. So we do have consultation. We do take advice from our parents, our wives, our kids, and it's a democratic way. We talk with our children. We try to convince them. They try to convince us with what they're feeling or what they're thinking of, and at the end of the day, it's the decision of those who are on the top of the pyramid.
I have just a little comment and a question. In the time being, we see what's going on in the Muslim world, the Western involvement in our culture and our way of living, and so how could we, just for those who chanting democracy all the time and empowering, they just include a lot of meanings and they just manipulate it and say, how could we just reply on them, and how could we evaluate their understanding of, because their understanding of the term democracy? Should we oppose the democracy as a Western term and start to think of our culture and go back,
or should we show the West what Islam says, the rights and rules that should be applied in governing of a society?
And especially for because here there are some Arab and some Muslims who really look into the Western democracy as a model. So, and they are chanting all the time democracy. So democracy means empowering the women or liberating the women.
Well, actually, the way I look at it is very simple. Those who ask for democracy as a solution to the problems Muslims live in are seeking their medicine in the wrong place. Because the diseases we have, corruption, injustice, and you name it, we have it. This is not because of the system is wrong, because the system is not implemented correctly. And it's exactly like the car you drive. It's a good car, but if you drive it in the wrong way, it's not the car that is wrong, it's the driver. So those who call for democracy in the Muslim world, we tell them that it is not acceptable to be looking for solutions other than in the Quran and Sunnah. And we have the solution. Now, Islam ruled and is still ruling for the past 14 or 15 centuries. And we believe as Muslims, and those who have doubts are not Muslims. We believe that it is Allah Almighty who made this religion suitable to all times and locations. So this is to the day of judgment. There's no other religion that's going to follow afterwards. Therefore, those who are calling for democracy, we would like to sit with them and talk to them gently and softly. Do you think that democracy is greater than Islam? Do you think that democracy is overrules? Democracy overrules the Quran and Sunnah? If they say yes, then they're not Muslims. So we have no problem in not answering their queries. But if they say, no, we think that it is part of the Quran and Sunnah, then we tell them, then Quran and Sunnah should overrule all. And again, they have their hidden agendas. those who come and call for democracy, they're either want by calling for democracy to put the governments in a critical situation, to embarrass their governments, or they are just simply serving the needs and plans of their masters, where they have studied and where they're seeking the pleasure of. As Muslims, we have the answer, but we need the will and power to implement it.
Sheikh Assim, there was something else I wanted to ask about. You mentioned that for citizens in an Islamic or in an Islamic state or society should follow their rulers as long as these rulers are not contradicting Islam or doing or performing sins. When is it exactly that citizens can disobey their rulers? I mean, are there certain situations, and in that sense, how can they disobey them? Is there a form of disobedience? Is it violent disobedience? Is it passive disobedience?
Okay. First of all, let me rephrase or correct a conception that I may have misunderstood. But you said that we must not obey the rulers if they sin. No, this is not the case. There are individual sins and there are sins that they order us to do.
On society itself.
If I have a Muslim ruler that drinks and fornicate on his own, this is his problem.
What if I know?
Even if you know, this is something between him and between the Almighty, because as individuals we're all sinners. And you cannot expect someone, there's no way that someone can come and say, well, everyone else is a sinner, I'm a pure Muslim, I have no sins. No, this is unacceptable. So the sins of the ruler is his own. This is between him and Allah, and may Allah forgive all our sins. Now when the ruler legislates and he puts part of the rules that you should follow something that is sinful, if he makes intoxicants, for example, if he makes alcohol permissible, and he says this is permissible, now he's not doing it as a sin because he could allow people to drink. This is a sin. When you ask him, why are you doing this? He said, yeah, I know it's haram, but it's an income. It's tourism. If we don't sell, then we won't have any tourism. So this is a sin. It's a major sin. And you're going to be punished in hell, man, and God knows how long. It's up to him, the Almighty. But this is a sin. You should prevent this. You have the means and tools to prevent this.